Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome to the. Okay, today I'm gonna be messy as normal. So yeah, this YouTube episode is gonna be kind of like my life, but I keep thinking about the notion all lives matter and how more evidence there is that is not true and it will not be true for so many more years. And millionaires' lives matter, billionaires' lives matter. They have control of this country. And it's proven. And it's like, my dad said I would never be smart enough to be a lawyer, but you know what? I can practice on here. I can practice on here. Because I am going to prove how all lives don't matter, won't matter for a very long time. That's going to be the case in this episode. Might need a part two, but I'll see. But we're going to start off with, what should I start off with? Well, the foods that we are eating, if you compare them to other countries, a lot of the manufactured foods, America is one of the only countries that is allowed to eat a list of foods, and I'll do a whole episode on that. I just talked about gummy bears, gummy candies, and things like that, or fruit snacks, and about a month ago, I think. And I gave a brand that's made in France, like, kind of a recommendation because they don't have a lot of the, like, especially the food coloring of the red and like yellow. They use fruit juice as their coloring. And it's like, I don't know if you've ever done research on the artificial food colorings, but some of them can be like an assist to causing cancer and things like that. There's a list of things that each one of these colorings can do and how they can harm our bodies. But there's so many ingredients that are outlawed in other countries that they are not allowed to put in their foods that America allows. And part of me is just like, if all lives matter, how are you going to risk our lives like that? How are you going to put these poisons in our bodies? And it's like, we're not even educated. Like, there should be, kind of like with prescription drugs, there should be a warning label and a list of which ingredients. I think that should be for all foods, especially even candies, because some of the candies have a lot of these food colorings and some of the artificial sugars that they're saying that could cause different things. And yeah, we need to have a caution, kind of like with um, like alcohol and things like that as well, because a lot of people are consuming certain foods and they don't know the side effects, or later on they have to go to the doctors, but then sometimes doctors ignore them until it's too late. And it's like, when you need the doctors and then you need the health insurance, but then the health insurance says no and they refuse you. But then it's either you sell your house or you sell your car, your property, and things like that in order to try to stay alive, or you just enjoy the rest of your life the best you can in your house with your car because you can't afford the medications and the healthcare that you should have been given in the first place. But then America doesn't want to give Medicare for all. And you need to do research and look up how that started. Like, because it was brought up. It was brought up to be in America. But because of racism and bigotry is why they decided not to. And yeah, there's so many different stories that I can do a full episode. But literally racism is why they ended up not wanting it. Now it's more capitalism, or it's a combination of bigotry and capitalism. But yeah, they were waiting for some people to die off first. Yeah. America. But they want to say all lives matter, but then when it comes to shootings, yeah, when a billionaire gets eliminated. Oh, everyone needs to look for the person. Everyone needs to, but then when it's a school like situation, it's like you don't want to do anything about the laws or anything that will allow these students to learn in a safe environment. We broke the record of how many school shootings were performed in a year this year. But yeah, no legislation on that, right? Right. And then veterans. A lot of people aren't signing up now. And I think one reason is because, yeah, this is only going to hurt if I'm talking about you, or if you agree with what Republicans have been doing, but Republicans have been even high-fiving each other with making sure that veterans don't get certain money and certain things that would help them with their health care needs. And part of me feels like if you risk your life for this country, you should be spoiled. Yeah, I've had a terrible dating life with some of the guys who want to serve and veterans and things like that, but that doesn't mean I don't appreciate what they're doing for this country. That doesn't mean like they can be terrible men in relationships, but they can be heroes outside of that. So it's like, and that's one reason why, like, writing characters, there's some things you're going to hate about a character, but then there's going to be some things that are notable, are like empathetic, are loving and compassionate. And so when it comes to our veterans, the risk that they take, the consequences, and the mental stability that is needed when they come home. But I keep seeing how, like, there was that one clip where after the Republicans denied it and it didn't go through, it didn't pass, they all came together and high-fived. But then military people keep saying Republicans have their back. But then they forget how a few years ago Republicans were, or yeah, let's just say there were a lot of veterans protesting and even asking why were the Republicans not supporting them, not having their backs, and why. I mean, they said Congress, but when you looked into Congress, it was a majority of the Republicans that were denying and voting down measures that would be able to help them with their health care and different daily needs for them to be able to survive after what they've been through. So if you want to say all lives matter, and but then you deny veterans the needs for them to be able to stay alive, and then you want to deny cancer research, and not only cancer research but cancer research for children. It's like, what did these children do wrong? And it's like, if you think all lives matter, you would want to make sure these kids have an opportunity to be healed so that they can live a life, so that they can grow up. But I guess that research doesn't matter. Millionaires and billionaires care more about their pockets, how much they can take home and their bonuses and their stocks and things like that, than innocent children who need to stay alive, who want to stay alive. And I say need to because we all deserve longevity. But it just it just doesn't make any sense. And especially even with health insurance again, people are being denied. I think I read an article where it's like around 64,000 people are denied a year. And then people pass away. Like, I just read a story a couple days ago. I think I mentioned this, but there was a manager at a restaurant. He was born with diabetes, type 1, and when he turned 25, he had to get his own health insurance. But then with getting health insurance, he had to like get his insulin and everything like that. So he started spreading it out so that, because he couldn't afford it every month, and he died. And there are so many people with diabetes who they get on tour buses to go to either Canada or Mexico with huge empty bags to fill them up with insulin so they can get by. But then we have the nerve to say all lives matter. If all lives matter, then we would make sure that we had, like, because even if you, like, because even that shows how inexpensive or how much inexpensive it is in other countries. Because when you look at countries all around the world, and even if you tell people from other countries how much medications are in America, some of them laugh. Even the countries that don't have Medicare for all, they laugh. And then look at the ambulance. It's like America has to spend so much money for an ambulance. When you mention this to other countries, they're just like, you spend how much for an ambulance? It was to a point when Uber and Lyft first came out, people were getting Ubers and Lyfts to the hospital because that was going to be less expensive because they couldn't afford the ambulance. But then all lives matter, right? All lives matter, right? And it's just to a point. Thank you so much for listening to part one, but as normal, I talk a lot and yeah. So I went a little over, so I'm splitting it up in two, but I'm going to try to not get off and do another mini talk. So if you can please or tomorrow listen to the next part of it, and I'm going to be proving my case. I'm going to be doing more episodes on this topic because whenever I hear Republicans have the nerve to say all lives matter, I think about the people fighting cancer and having a hard time trying to afford it, debating on if they're going to eat, if they're going to be sheltered, or it's like even with work and like calling off work. There was a teacher who they ran out of off days and all of the teachers teamed together to support them. And then you think about the medicine and prescriptions people have to go through, like even through sickness or disability or anything like that. It's like people don't understand the stress of that. And the homeless and how people do get homeless because sometimes it's sickness, sometimes it's employment, sometimes it's depression and mental health. Sometimes it's just because life just isn't fair sometimes. And sometimes you can't get a job because of certain things. And trust me, I'm a Black female with a disability. I have had like if you guys ever want to tell me the racism, bigotry that you faced, oh, I'm all, yeah, I've been through it. And a lot of people want to say racism is over, but remember, in Ohio and quite a few, ever since the last election, have you noticed a lot more hate groups are now recruiting and doing protests or not, or they are walking around really proud, wearing their masks. And the funny thing is, they'll wear their masks to try to keep their jobs because they don't want their jobs finding out they're in hate groups. But then when it comes to people possibly catching a spreadable disease, oh, they don't care. Yeah. But then all lives matter, right? Yeah, the same group that says all lives matter, they don't care if you get a disease that you can actually pass away from. But that's life. Pun intended. But anyway, if you guys can please listen to part two, and again, I'm gonna be doing more. If oh, and please press on the links. I try to show receipts and I try to show evidence, and a lot of them deal with the health portion. So I might start off with that one since that hits home really hard for me. But then gonna start going through some of the even school shootings and the mass, like, oh yeah, all some of the violent things as well, because and the CEOs, the billionaires, millionaires, and especially the Amazon. Oh yeah, probably we'll go over the Amazon deaths that happened on site. And it's to the point where when South Park is covering that topic, yeah, it's like, it's something maybe we need to pay attention to. And in my opinion, they did a pretty good job of it too. But anyway, you guys take care. and I'm going to spill as much tea as possible and get ready for next year and finally get my novel published, or at least my first one, because, yeah, there's like three or four, but the first one, I need to get through the first one. And I will admit it's partially depression and partially I'm going to start the series soon of the 40 reasons of why I broke up with Mr. No Heart. And I think that's one reason why I'm so scared to publish it and finish it, because he had such, I don't know if it was doubt or jealousy, or I have no idea what it is, but maybe once I talk about it, maybe I can even find a therapist or someone to come live and break some of the things down, and maybe they can share warnings for other people, especially women, of what to look out for. Because I allowed men to stop me from my goals and dreams. I allowed men to tell me I wasn't smart enough, good enough, or since I'm black, or since I'm a woman, and since I walk like this. All of my life, people I was either dating or family members and things like that, they kept telling me this all throughout my life. So if I can help people in one way, it would be to fight against the hate, to fight against the judgment, because it's not fair. It's not fair whatsoever. So, anyways, okay, you guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys, or I'll annoy you guys tomorrow as normal. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman. I am a Thank you for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman. I am a Thank you for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman. I am a Thank you for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman. I am a Thank you for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman. I am a Thank you for